How many people does it take to build a tiny house? In this episode, I'm going to share with you how it takes a whole village. Now, why does it take a village of people to make a house like this? It has all of the same complexities as a regular house. You've got water, you've got electricity, you still have to build a sound structure that's watertight and is well suited for its climate. That takes a lot of engineering. But furthermore, because a tiny house is on a trailer frame, you add another layer of complexity. You've added extra issues to the design to keep it lightweight, to keep it strong. It's going to be put on the highway at 100 kilometers an hour. So, it takes a whole team of experts to make sure this gets done right. That is part one of why there is a village of people. I want to talk about some of the trades and some of the companies that help make this come together. The second part of that, though, is the teams of people, the skilled people who make not just the build of a house like this happen, but also a production. This reality show here on YouTube that we are filming for you for free using materials that sponsors give us for free so we can then take this house on a tour across Canada, provide COVID-safe entertainment and education, and then we give the house away for free. Will we make it? Who knows? Be sure to subscribe to follow this crazy journey, to get some edutainment along the way, and yes, also for a chance to win this tiny house. So there are two categories of the village here, we'll say. We've got our sponsors and the materials that make this all come together, the companies, and we also have lots of individuals. We have skilled people of all sorts and manner in trade, and students that are making this all come together and actually possible. First and foremost, we've got a trailer from Oasis Trailers. They've engineered this beautiful, perfect, strong, triple axle trailer frame. And we went and approached a company called Timbren, and they provided us their state-of-the-art silent ride suspension system. We could not have asked for a better foundation. Next, we popped up the walls. There's two different videos on this. Make sure to go watch them in the channel here. One was a music video showing the walls popping up super quick. And the second one was an interview with one of the managers. So we talked about metal studs and the benefits of them and how we actually accomplished this feat. So now we've got a trailer and we've got a metal frame, we've got a suspension system. We also have this sheathing system called zip panels from Huber Engineered Woods, and we are almost complete installing it, which is exciting. Behind, just outside the tiny house right now, our windows sit on the floor from Duxton Windows, state-of-the-art, amazing high-efficiency windows. And we also have siding. So we've got siding from Engage Building Products. They're providing fast plank and quick panel systems, and they're going to be gorgeous. I can't wait to share them with you and show you them installed. And then on the roof, we have a standing seam metal roof being supplied by Monarch Exterior Centers. Upcoming, we also still have a spray foam sponsor for insulating the interior of the walls. We also got a company that just came on this week, Chanin Hardwoods, and they're going to be supplying us some gorgeous feature wood for little features in the house. Actually, a table that goes right here and some bookshelves that go here. You're going to see. We've got Chanin Hardwoods, a local hardwood company. I also want to give a huge thanks and welcome to the team, Moen Lumber. Moen Lumber gave us over $2,000 worth of plywood and OSB. In fact, I'm sitting on a sheet of it right now, so I'm not on the trailer frame. And there you can see there's plywood above me. I was just actually up there 10 minutes ago putting in the screws. When Moen Lumber came on board and said we had this plywood to pick up, I went and grabbed the truck, grabbed my nephew, drove straight there, loaded up all the wood that we were going to be using, all this OSB and plywood, and brought it back. Blair and I actually started working up on the roof. So thank you, Moen Lumber, for your generous contribution, and looking forward to working with you, Chanin Woods, on some of these gorgeous wood features in the house. We've got all sorts of sponsors I'm excited to share with you, but I don't want to give too many spoilers. Thank you, all those amazing companies, for getting us to here. Okay, so that's category one. It takes a village, yes, of companies to make this house possible. It also takes a village of people There's so many skills: planning, design, social media, website, editing, videography, the trades. So I want to actually share with you some of the amazing people. Let's start off first with some extra thanks to Luke and Wamie. So Luke of Naked Rain Creative and Wamie of WamieTeeter.com helped start up the production of this show. So massive thanks to their support, their sponsorship, their training, their time. Also huge thanks to Rhonda of Precious Nest, our interior designer, and Stephen Ashworth, one of the NAIT instructors, who is mentoring not just the students in deep ways, but he's also mentoring me. He's given me plenty of advice as a well and experienced professional in the videography world. So thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Stephen. Now let's talk about the core team. When this began 9 months ago, I applied and got a NAIT team. It's called the Capstone project, and it's where you have teams of students who are finishing their Bachelor of Technology. So they already have an area of skill that they're proficient in, that they're trained in, and they also have now all this training that they've done under NAIT. So this is one of their final ways to show off everything they know and everything they've learned. They're put into teams of 4, and they're given to sponsors who apply to execute a project. So when I heard of this opportunity to apply and receive a team of NAIT Capstone students, I immediately knew something big was going to be done with these students. I didn't know that this show would happen at that point in time. I had a few ideas for proposals for projects, but I had actually just finished a couple months previous launching online workshops. I had done one for a tiny house workshop, teach people in about 2 days, a crash course on how to design and build a tiny house. And I also did a workshop called the Sustainable Home and Property, and that one I actually taught at NAIT. Now, both those video courses were a huge success. And so I knew that I wanted to keep growing in the videography industry. I wanted to reach more people. And if I could do it for free, I mean, that's pretty cool too, because that means the reach can be huge. That's precisely why this show started. For reaching more people, teaching them how to design and build a house, inspiring them with the community, and teaching them things that maybe we should have learned in school, like how insulation works, or how to build a home in the most basic sense. Okay, so that's how I got this NAIT Capstone team. I applied because I wanted to start up a YouTube reality show on the design and build of a tiny house. I got given these 3 amazing students, Amanda, Ravina, and Kyle. Now, Amanda is an organizational genius and has plenty of management experience. Ravina is a go-getter and competitive, and she actually pushed us into getting on TikTok. She became our first social media manager. We actually ended up getting a video with 50,000 views on TikTok. I don't know, seems like good numbers to me. And then Kyle. Kyle is our draftsman and engineering technician, and we spent quite many hours putting together the basic plans for this house. Now, you didn't get to see them too much on the show today because at the beginning of the project, we didn't have as much to film. We were planning, we were designing, we were getting key sponsors organized, we were doing our social media, website, all of that stuff. And so, like I say, they set the foundation. But when I first met them, I invited them to my tiny house, and I actually got them to introduce themselves. So here they are giving their introductions from way back in September.
Hi, I'm Amanda Keys. I'm a part of NAIT's Bachelor of Technology's management program, and I'm here a part of our Capstone project. So some of the skills that I have are project management, communication, and a very organized person. I'm excited to work on this project because there's a personal interest of mine. I actually want to build one with my partner for a recreational home.
Hello, my name is Ravina. I'm a 4th-year student at NAIT, and I'm in my final year, so I'm doing the Capstone project, and I picked the tiny house project, and I ended up getting it. I'm excited to work on this project because I love when a vision comes together. I love the end goal. My friends and family would describe me as the life of the party.
Hi, my name is Kyle. I'm a student at NAIT in the Bachelor of Technology program and doing a tiny house project with Kenton for our Capstone. My skills include draft and design engineering, slight photography, a little bit of coaching, and then scuba diving as well. I'm excited to work on this project because I've been looking at tiny houses since I was probably 14 or 15 years old, and this has seemed like a great opportunity to actually build one myself. My friends and family would probably describe me as outgoing, a little bit crazy, I'd say, and innovative.
Now I have an extra surprise for you guys from each of the teams. So Kyle and Amanda and Ravina, they finished a couple months ago and they had a paper they had to do and a presentation. Here are the best parts of their presentation that they gave their instructors and their peers.
Super, welcome back everybody. We're going to switch over and learn about tiny homes. Take it away, team.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Team Really Small Homes, our Team 11, and our sponsor is Kenton Zerbin, and his project is called the Tiny House Master Plan. Have you ever dreamed of a different life? That was a dream that Kenton had. Our project was pretty big. We had a task to design a tiny home, find sponsors in order to get the materials to build that tiny home, celebrate both the tiny house build and our sponsors through various social media aspects, including our YouTube channel, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And at the end of all of this, we actually were to give away the tiny house. Our team consisted of 3 of us. There was myself, Amanda. I took on the role of project manager. There's Ravina, who took on the role of social media manager, and Kyle, who took on the role of design manager.
So as far as the design was concerned, which is my area of expertise, we had to focus on a pretty unique tiny house build. We had to make sure it was multi-purpose, primarily used for living, and had the added usefulness of a fully functioning movie stage setup for when Kenton actually went on his tour across Canada to deliver his tiny house workshops. Some of the challenges we had is actually designing the tiny house itself. Because we didn't really know what was going inside, we kind of had to design to what would be ideal. And overall, we had to make sure that every space in the tiny house is used just either for storage or utility or something, right? So here's the different parts of the design process. You can see I go from a very early iteration in the top left and then travel left to right, and then with the final product being the bottom row.
Social media was one half of our project. Building up a social media following from scratch was far from easy, but there was many opportunities and room for growth along the way. Our social media plan outlines what our goals were for each platform and the type of content that we would share on each platform. So this plan came about shortly after we launched our social media on every platform. It took a lot of trial and error, and we kind of had to figure out what would work for us and what wouldn't. YouTube was our main platform. A new episode is released every Thursday on YouTube. We showed a lot of tiny house tours, we did a lot of educational videos, and then we showed a lot of behind the scenes raw footage as well. So this was supposed to be our, the intention of the YouTube channel was for it to be our main platform where we would divert the rest of our audience to come to. And then next we have TikTok. TikTok is a platform that we got to be very creative with. We got to play with transitions, music, filters, dances, and so many more neat features. This is the TikTok that we're watching right now is our most viral TikTok. This one accumulated just over 53,000 views. The intention of our Twitter page is to provide live updates for when the tiny house does hit the road for the tour.
I mentioned at the beginning that this was a big project. It was massive. We barely worked together. I think as a group, we might have met 2 or 3 times, the 3 of us. But I want to really stress that despite the fact that it was really independent, it was really dependent at the same time. There was nothing that I didn't do in sponsorship management that didn't either touch design management or social media management, and vice versa. One of the favorite quotes that I have from one of the episodes of Kenton's is he ends off a line saying, "Simple possessions to simplify my life."
So that was Team 11, those 3. Now, they are actually completed their capstone project. I only had them for so many months, and they finished actually a few months ago. This is kind of actually a good opportunity to say thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Amanda. And thank you, Ravina, for setting a foundation with me to start this project. So you will still see Kyle around the tiny house and in the shop because he works here. His company actually gave us this sponsored shop to work within. Now we also have a whole team of new NAIT students who've come on board a couple months ago. Lindsay, Ravina, David, and Donalda. And you've been seeing them a little bit more in the videos as they learn how to become videographers, as they handle social media, manage all our sponsorship requests, and administration and management. It's an incredible amount of workload that these 4 NAIT students are doing behind the scenes to make this show possible. Now I'm going to let them do their own introduction as well, so you can continue to see how big and awesome this village of people is that gets this tiny house built. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Tiny House Master Plan, where you can see it takes a village to make a tiny house. Here's the question of the week from the YouTube audience members. David asks, I was wondering how much it costs to build a DIY tiny house. David, it actually varies widely. I have seen tiny homes built for under $10,000 if you're savvy and scavenge stuff and are very much DIY. However, it's much realistic to expect a tiny house with your own labor going in to cost between $40,000 and $60,000 if you're buying everything new. And if you're going to hire another company to build your tiny house, that usually doubles the cost. So it's not uncommon to see a tiny house these days built by professionals for over $100,000. Sometimes you can find them still closer to the $80,000 mark, which does depend on size. But yes, it does vary widely how much a tiny house costs, and the DIYers I find are averaging between $40,000 and $60,000. Now, I myself spent just over $80,000 on my tiny house, which is completely off-grid and super efficient and all high gloss. I didn't really skimp out anywhere. You can check out the tours, by the way, of my videos down below. We'll also have it pop out in the little eye thing on the side here. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Tiny House Master Plan. We got more in store for you, so make sure to subscribe to follow the journey and get your chance to win this tiny house. Take care.